Well, Sharon, I go back to your point of being fortunate. Obviously, you never ran into any roadblocks or any failure, which we know is absolutely not the case.
Right.
And Wayne, I think what you're highlighting too is or alluding to is helping folks understand the need for failure. And I'd love for you to briefly address that it's not only okay to fail, but in actuality, throughout this process, there's a need to fail in some regards.
Well, and that's absolutely true. When we deal with younger students, they're kind of programmed that failure is the end of the road. Like if you're not successful in what you're attempting, that's the end of the road. It's over with. But in fact, that's just another starting point. Because if you're going to have to fail several times before you're successful, and how do you take that failure and learn from it and test it and find conditions from it so that the next time you're closer to the solution that you wanted? I think, and I think Sharon is the living example of this kind of thing. But getting your mind out of the set that really what I'm doing is testing conditions, not for failure, but for success. And so the more quickly you can test those conditions to see if it's going to actually do the thing that you want it to do, the more quickly you can bring about success. And so fail quickly, fail often, and learn from each of those how to build the actual thing that you've got in your head that you want to create.
I think from an application standpoint, what I initially envisioned in terms of a design standpoint, because the idea has really been unchanged since the very first day that I met with the Office of Technology Transfer. But the design, what it looks like, how big it is, and has changed quite a bit, and a lot of that has to do with changing technology. Because even 4 years ago, the word Bluetooth wasn't wireless. That wasn't as commonplace as it is now. So the way the components in my device can communicate can happen in a much different way because there aren't wires going here or there. There doesn't need to be the bulk to hide. The structure doesn't need to be as large because the technology has changed. So, even though we found something that worked, there's a constant, this constant evolution of, I won't even say it's always a failure, it's just a constant review of, can this be better? Can we continue to improve on something? But, I try to do that with a lot of things. And I think when we were talking earlier about some of the buzz phrases, and I'm a solution-focused person. I try to accomplish a lot of things. And in doing so, you have to be able to be efficient. And so I'm always looking at ways to be more efficient. And sometimes that means, having to clean up what I'm already doing, and other times it means finding new ways to do things. And that's sort of how this came about.